In Tekken, there are those who wish to prove their skills.
The toughest in the universe!
There are those that seek to claim the mantle of the Zaibatsu. There are those trying to build an amusement park. There are those fighting for something bigger than themselves. And then there's Bryan Fury.
Oh no! Oh my god!
But how did we get here? Join me as we take a deeper look into the story of one of the most ruthless and beloved fighters ever to compete in the King of Iron Fist tournament. Bryan Fury was once a respected officer of the Hong Kong Interpol, transitioning from soldier to detective, presumably with the same unit as Lei Wulong. Then one night, he was fatally wounded in the line of duty. Reanimated by Dr. Abel, he was sent to retrieve Dr. Boskonovich's schematics, which were needed in order for Abel to complete his cyborg army doomsday project. Bryan begins to track down Boskonovich. While searching for leads, he discovers that the Manji clan had ties with the good doctor. He then picks up the trail of Yoshimitsu by entering the third King of Iron Fist tournament. During Bryan's mission, word got out of Abel's work, and he was scouted by the Mishima Zaibatsu. He was quickly appointed as the chief scientific advisor and would lead a new research project on Genosal data. As a result, Abel seemed to have abandoned his initial plans involving cyborgs, which in turn now also meant he had abandoned Bryan. Not long after the third Tekken tournament, Fury returns to a desolate base of operations. He also begins to sense his decrepitude and now has contempt for both Abel and the Mishima Zaibatsu. Realizing that he was on borrowed time, he decides to enter the fourth tournament to begin his ruinous revenge on the man who abandoned him and all who would stand in his way. The indignation sweltering within Bryan drove him to new heights of power. Despite his imminent retrogression, he storms the gates of the Zaibatsu and takes out many members of the newly minted Tekken force single-handedly. After sending Abel flying across his new lab, Fury wrought unprecedented Pyrrhic damage before being saved by none other than Yoshimitsu and Boskonovich, the very same men he had pledged to take down 2 years earlier. Boskonovich and Yoshimitsu had seen Fury as a potential ally in exchange for his cooperation. They offered to enhance Bryan mechanically, which would not only extend his life, but would effectively amplify his power. Bryan accepts this offer, but after awakening is disappointed to find that Boskonovich was unable to extend his lifespan. However, he was successful in installing a perpetual power generator, and he advises that he needs more time to complete his research in order to arrest Bryan's forthcoming demise. Remembering his experience with Abel, Fury finds an insufferable familiarity to the scientist's words and lays waste to the facility, trashing the lab and taking out many of the researchers and Manji clan members. Soon after, there is talk of a fifth Tekken tournament. Bryan decides to enter in order to cause more chaos and test his new abilities. It becomes apparent that Lei Wulong is building a case against Bryan, and he tries to apprehend him for the crimes that he has committed. Fury manages to evade capture, but Yoshimitsu catches up to him after learning of Bryan's recent actions at the secret base. They engage in a vicious back-and-forth battle, which seems to result in a stalemate. Fury continues to wreak havoc, engaging in innumerable battlefields across the world. Although his days might be limited, his power is anything but, and he now revels in his role as an agent of chaos. Unlike many characters in Tekken who have a stake in the King of Iron Fist tournament, Bryan just wishes to cause as much mayhem and destruction as possible. From his punishing fighting style to his maniacal laugh, he embodies raw power and unbridled rage. Personally, I'd like to see him play a bigger role in the story somehow, as I think he is one of the coolest characters in Tekken. Unless you're a helicopter pilot, of course. It will be interesting to see where his exploits take him in future installments. But whatever happens, we can be sure Bryan will be around to crash everyone's parties for a long time to come.